Here we're going to answer this three-part question. First it says identify the slope of the line. So since this is in slope-intercept form, we know that the slope is the number in front of the x, the number multiplied by x. So in this case, the slope is -1/2. Now it says identify 3 points on this line. So we are just going to make a table here with some x's and y's. And we can substitute anything in for x and see what y is. And that will give us a point, an x, y point that we know will be on the graph of that line. So since we're dealing with some fractions here, you can be a little strategic since we're just asking for any 3 points, any 3 numbers that we're going to put in for x, which is going to be multiplied by -1/2. So I'm going to purposely pick numbers that I know I can divide by 2. So let's pick 2 and 4 and 6, and I'll show you why. Now remember, we're going to substitute in that x, each of these x's, into the equation. So the equation is -1/2 times x. So if we take 2, instead of times x, we're going to say times 2. Now let's simplify and see what y is. When I multiply -1/2 times 2, I get -1. So on the right side, I have -1 plus 3. That's what y equals when I put 2 in for x, which is 2. So when I put 2 in for x, y is 2. Now let's do 4. Again, instead of multiplying by x, we're going to substitute in 4. And simplify. What is y when x is 4? -1/2 times 4 is -2. So on the right side, I have y equals -2 plus 3, which when I add that, I get 1. So I put 4 in for x, y is 1. And when I put 6 in, I get y is 0. Now, why did I pick x's that I could divide by 2? Notice that my y coordinates aren't decimals. They're pretty clean. What if instead I put a number like 7? If I put 7 in for x, I'm going to have -1/2 times 7, which is going to give me a decimal. I'm going to get -3.5. So on the right side, I have -3.5 plus 3. And when I add them, I get -0.5. So it still is a point when I put 7 in for x, y is -0.5, but when you pick numbers that are divisible by whatever that denominator is of the fraction, then you aren't going to be left with decimals that you have to plot on your graph. So these are my 3 points. Now we're asked to show that the slope between all of the 3 points is the same as the line, is this -1/2. So we're going to just pick 2 points, like let's just look at the first 2, and use the slope formula, which is the change in the y coordinates, so 2 minus 1 over the change in the x coordinates, 2 minus 4. So we get 1 over -2 or -1/2. Good, it's the same. If instead we pick these, the change in the y coordinates, 1 minus 0, divided by the change in the x coordinates, 4 minus 6, sorry, that's 1 minus 0, is 1. 4 minus 6 is -2. And again, we get -1/2. And lastly, if we pick the top one and the bottom one, the change in the y, 2 minus 0, divided by the change in the x, 2 minus 6, we get 2 over -4, which is -1/2. So what is this telling us? What's the purpose of this question? This question, this lesson, is really just trying to make the point that you could graph a line using an equation, and you can find points on this line. All of the points on this line are solutions to that equation. And the slope between any 2 points on this line are always going to be the same. Because if this is a linear equation, the slope along that entire line is going to be constant. It's going to be the same.